for the championship. Next stop, Edmond Santa Fe for this one. So we depart Sapulpa and head to Edmond Santa Fe for this one. And a lot of folks may be surprised that Clinton in this championship game. Cascia has been here, and sometimes when you've been there, you come in with a little confidence.
Come in with a little confidence, and that definitely helps the program. It helps for success.
And we were talking during the break about an interesting stat with how much they had to play to get here.
Cascia had to fight to get here by playing 2 5-set matches before that to get to play Clinton in the finals. And
a Clinton player that we'll see really stand out in this match is Alyssa Wilson.
Yeah, she really quite a leader for them. Very good hitter on the outside. You know, obviously it takes some strong leadership like that to get past a program like Heritage Hall in semis.
Allie Murphy as well, and then we'll see Caitlin Rother here in a moment. But Clinton really came in and set the tone in this first set.
They did come in and set the tone and set it with their serving and their serve receive.
We'll see a good look at Brittany Jefferson coming up a little bit later, but they led 8-4, 9-5, 11-6, and then they really expanded that lead to 15-6, and then really started to pull away against Cascia in this first set.
Yeah, when you build a lead like that, you certainly don't relax, but it sure makes it easier to go ahead and finish out the game.
You see Brittany Jefferson there, 25-16. Clinton takes the first set. So we go to the second set of this best of 5 in Class 4A, and some serious spiking going on here. And Vivian Barnum will finally get the point as Cascia leads 2-1 early on.
Yes, so we're seeing the pass set, and then there's the kill by Vivian Barnum.
And then more solid play at the net as they try to set Dixon. And at that point it was 5-4. So pretty close match in the early going, and then we'll see some blocks at the net. And just talk about the what it takes, not from just a mental standpoint, but the physical standpoint, to make those plays at the net when you know you may be taking a pretty hard hit from the ball.
It is tough, and it's tough not only because it's just the first hit, but in a rally it's very tough to keep going, especially as a middle attacker or middle blocker going side to side, and to just keep working towards that block and working towards that attack.
Russ, how much of it is athletic ability? How much of it is just positioning your body in the right spot?
Well, a lot of it is, of course, athletic ability, but you really coach these kids how to anticipate what's coming, how to get to the right spot. Once you're in the right spot and in the right position, you know, the pass all of a sudden becomes much, much easier for you.
When you talk about players at every level, and I know we've shown 6A and 5A, but a player like Alyssa Wilson, what luxuries does she provide her team as you see they win this second set 25-18? Really gives them a player that they can really... 5 between Clinton and Cascia Hall, and we pick up the action. Of course, Cascia needing to win the next 3 if they want a state title and kind of keep that tradition going. And you'll see Clinton score early, Wilson again, as they took an early 4-1 lead.
Yep, they were obviously feeling good early on, and you know, especially when you start getting your serving going, that's really a good way to get a rally.
We talked, Janet, earlier about the serve and getting kind of setting up your offense, but how much is it gravy to get points off the serve, to get aces going for your team?
Oh, it's a great way to do it. That way you skip the rallies and you start building up more and more confidence by having aces and wins off the serve.
I know all these athletes are in great shape, but how much does endurance become a factor when you get into the 3rd, 4th, possibly 5th sets of these matches?
Oh, it plays a huge role, and especially considering they've just played a couple of other matches in the last day or two to get to where they are. Endurance has really played a lot for them, and that's where their long tournaments and all those kinds of things during the season are really starting to pay off for them.
Yeah, we talked about the brackets earlier, Janet, and Cascia's road to get there, and Clinton's road as well. How, you know, this is the prize here, and really it becomes the toughest match, not only because your opponent is tough, but because you're plumb worn out.
plumb worn out, but you play right through it. The excitement, the road, it's the end road, and that's what they're going for, and the girls just forget that they're tired, and they just keep on going. It's very impressive.
We see Cascia scores there with Dixon. Funky Joe Medina, the Cascia Hall football coach, in the foreground right there, cheering on his Commandos. A great way to participate as they get it done in that third game, 25-23. So they come out, they say they're the comeback kids, and so far they've answered the bell.
Absolutely. That's what a coach, what a team needs to do, is come back out and win that third set. And now going into the fourth set, they can get started with their serves.
So now Cascia with a little momentum heading into the fourth set, and they scored a lead 21-16. So just 4 points away now from forcing a fifth and deciding set.
Yep, and that's this is the point in the match where every single point makes such a big difference, and it's obviously getting pretty tight, and unfortunately sometimes the bounces go in your way, sometimes they don't. So that's.
We got a couple of long points coming up, and Clinton is going to win both of these long points. And when you're the team that's trailing, as Cascia is 2-1, how much of a backbreaker can it be, even though you're still ahead in this particular set, to have those long points go against you?
Well, it's certainly not desirable, but it's something that can be overcome by the next point, forgetting the last point, getting on to the next point.
The second of these long points capped by Wilson, a player we've talked about, Alyssa Wilson. And again, that's probably one of those situations as a player that she really thrives on.
Oh, I could only imagine with her attacks, that she had quite a few attacks at the end. That's must be great to be able to be a good hitter and put the ball down.
So this particular set, 23-21, Jefferson has a block coming up, and then eventually, after being down 21-16, Clinton comes back to tie this one at 23-all, and I know Cascia having to obviously feeling the heat at this point.
Yeah, most definitely. And when you're facing a really good hitter who can hit that well late in the match, she's keeping the defense on their heels, and it's awful tough to hang in there.
Cascia went up 24-23, and then Clinton tied it again at 24. And of course, you're going to 25, but you got to win by 2. And these points down at this point of the match are very critical.
They are critical. Both teams are playing well at this point with good serves and good serve receives and good digs, and they're going back and forth with points. It's fun to watch.
And as you'll see coming up here momentarily, no surprise that it's going to be Alyssa Wilson that steps up and gets her team the state championship.
Well, as we talked about earlier, when you've got that go-to player, that's when you keep going to that well until it runs dry.
We'll see her coming up here momentarily, as it was 24-all, as we mentioned, and then Clinton makes it 25-24, and then coming up here, 1 point away from victory. They can taste it. And it's going to be Wilson again, just putting it where they ain't, so to speak. And Cascia Hall comes up short, and Clinton gets it done. 25-16, 25-18, 23-25, and 26-24 the final. Clinton coach Jackie Sternberger had to steer her club through some rough seas in the last 2 sets, but she believes in her team's ability to win. Barbie Kwong Do and Marty Folk. I'm Mike Wolf for Janet Cairns and Russ Hembry. Thanks for watching the OSSAA Championship Spotlight.